Hey guys, Kate Kennedy here with my first layout using the July Hip Kit and add-ons. And I took a little bit of a turn with this process video because I used a few products from the past couple of hip kits. In particular, there was this one piece of paper from this one from last month's kit. It's Webster's Pages, Our Travels, and I loved the paper, but I had a hard time using it. So I decided to take it and use it in this layout. So I also used that piece of Pebbles paper, the polka dot one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this Webster's Pages, it's called Noteworthy Sites, it's from the Our Travels collection, and I'm going to cut out the entire circle, and I'm leaving like a tiny little bit of a border. I also have a piece of white cardstock, a piece of vellum, and again that Pebbles paper. I can't remember what it was called because I couldn't find the manufacturer strip. But I'm also cutting out these little squares that are on the corners of that Webster's Pages paper. The other two papers I have there, or it was actually one paper. It's from the July kit that is called, it's from Teresa Collins' Wonderful Life. Wait, is that what it's called? I'm looking at my cheat sheet here. Something Wonderful is what it's from. And it's one side is the stripe and one side is the wood grain. So I decided to end up cutting that circle in half, and I'm going to stick with that placement of the half circle, and I'm going to use the Pebbles paper as the background, but I'm also going to cut it a little bit shy of 12 by 12 so that I can back it on some white cardstock, just because I want it to have some more white in the layout aside from just that half circle. So I thought that this would be a good way because there's a lot of pink and red going on here. So I'm just being a little bit fussy about where I cut that paper because I want it to be on where the pink polka dots are. So I was just fussing with that. So now I'm kind of trying to figure out the placement, and honestly that comes together very quickly for me, and I keep the same placement throughout the entire process. I will fiddle with a lot of other things, but that stays the same. So I'm going right ahead and adhering down these pieces, and the photograph I'm using is a picture that I posted on Instagram of some peonies that I had in an arrangement in the house, and I think she's one of my subscribers or one of my followers on Instagram, said you should make a layout with that. So that's what I'm doing. So I pulled a bunch of little red and blue or aqua embellishments, and I'm getting the aqua from that, again, that Webster's Pages paper. Now the chipboard piece and the star are from this month's kit. They're from the Wonderful Life chipboard and the October Afternoon little tidbit things, and the other two pieces you see now are from a previous kit, and they're also from an October Afternoon tidbits. So what I'm going through right now is the actual things from the July kit, but I will, that is also from the July kit. I think I will end up using some other things, but I kind of fuss around a lot with embellishment. And I think that that's one thing I just want to say for a second while you watch me rifle through all this stuff. And all of the products that I'm going through are from previous hip kits from the last few months. I love that somehow, I don't know how she does it, but I'm going to say 90% of your leftovers that you have, if you put them all together, like in one place, they would all go together, which is what I do. I have one drawer in one of my like storage units that is all hip kit leftovers, and I love to like rifle through that and find little things. Now what I'm doing here is I'm taking some stickers, and to get the sticky off of them, I think you've seen me do this before, I'm just putting some powder on the back so that way I can move them around the layout, because I'm pulling from so many different things. I wanted to be able to move them around, and I didn't want to put them all on wax paper. So that's what I'm doing with these stars also from October Afternoon, but I think I'll end up using one of them. Anyways, so if you keep all of your, instead of mixing it into the rest of your stash, if you keep it all like in a box or something, it's really cool to see how everything works together. I mean, it's amazing actually. Like these two pieces of paper, this Pebbles paper and the Teresa Collins paper, look great together. They're both like the same shades of pink and red, which is crazy because there's so many different kinds of pink and red out there. So I'm going to go ahead and put this little piece I cut out from the paper down with all this little embellishment cluster. I'm also using some of those Dear Lizzie buttons. They're like wood buttons, and then in the middle they have a piece of epoxy, and you can take that out and just use it as a button because it does have buttonholes, or you can keep it all together, which is what I did here. And let's see, what am I doing? Oh, I'm putting a little one of the little file tabs that I cut off of the October, or that I took off the October afternoon sticker sheet. I'm using there. Putting down this little arrow. And I'm thinking that this layout in the end, you'll see, might need some mist. So I would like to see what y'all think. Leave me a comment below if you think I should add some like paint splatters to this. So that is a piece of wood veneer from Ellie's studio that was in last month's kit from the Shine collection. It's a little flower. And that's another thing that I really wanted to use but didn't get a chance, and so I was real excited to get to use it. And I'm going to be using these stickers. They are called, what are they called? Doodle. And the title is going to be Bloom and Grow. And the title came from the song from, and I'm not going to sing it because I can't sing it. I'm not going to torture y'all. From, oh my gosh, I just had a blank. Sound of Music, Edelweiss. That's where the Bloom and Grow came from. For me, at least. And that's why I was going to use the quotes, but they were too big, so I didn't end up using those. And I was going to write peonies up the side here with those kind of orangey red stickers, but I decided it'd be too busy. So I'm going ahead and putting this down onto my white cardstock now. I also thought about stitching around the edge of it, but again, that pattern paper is kind of busy, so I just decided to kind of fold up the edges of the top and the bottom, and I think I do the sides too, and kind of tear it a little bit just to give it a little bit of dimension. I also do some of the other papers, and I'm just creasing it with my finger. It's not really a technique or anything. And that I noticed was a little bit crooked, and so I apparently used a very strong adhesive because I'm having a hard time getting this off. But I also thought it was a little bit too high, so I did re-stick it down a little bit lower and a little bit straighter. And then I'm going to put my photo up on some pop dots. And I like that because everything is square on this layout, that the half circle kind of gives it a little bit of a circular, something to break it up. And then I tried to use circular embellishments like those buttons and the wood veneer and stuff just to mix it up a little bit. I feel like that breaks it up some. This is just a roller date stamp from Target that has the day, the month, and the year. And I went to school overseas, and so that's how I always write the date. And when I got a roller date stamp here, I was like, this is wrong. And of course, I did know that in the U.S. we write it differently than everywhere else in the world. But when I saw this roller date stamp at Target, and they say that that's like a vintage way of doing it, I was like, sweet, because that's what I'm used to. So I'm just kind of fiddling around here. I know I want a cluster up there in the top left-hand corner, so I decide to basically mimic what I have in the bottom right-hand corner by using the little piece that I cut out from the Webster's Pages paper, and then some of the same embellishments. I'm a little bit off camera here. Oh, I'm putting a piece of washi tape, and this is also from a past kit, the little triangle pink washi tape. You'll see it in a second. I don't know why that I did it off camera there. But I also folded up the top of that just so that it would fit nicely there. And then I'm going to go ahead and staple it just because I'm afraid it's not going to stay. And then since I can't just have one staple, I staple other places that you can't see me doing right now, but you'll see it in the end. So I'm going to add another one of those Dear Lizzie buttons, and I believe I cut like the top off of a October afternoon little tidbits thing. These are from the Girl Talk one that we got a couple months ago, or month before last maybe. And it has writing on the other side, but that's the great thing about these is that one side is blank and one side has writing. And I like the shape of the taller one, so I just cut it to size. And I do use my paper trimmer for this just because I have a hard time cutting straight, so that's what I do. And then let's see, what else do I use? And that washi tape is from Freckled Fawn, just so that you know. That little star that I just added is an Ellie Studio wood veneer from a couple of months ago. And now I'm just gonna go ahead and put my letters down. I was waiting for my glue gun to heat up. I like to use a glue gun with chipboard stickers or thickers, especially when my photograph is on Pop-Tarts, because it gives them a little bit of height. Not much, but just a little bit. So that's what I'm doing. And also, if you get those stringies from, if you use a glue gun, you know what I'm talking about, those stringies, all you have to do is take your heat tool or like a hair dryer and kind of zap them. Okay, so I used some of the basic gray alphabets to write these words. And then I'm going to take the stamp set from this month's kit and I'm going to stamp all kinds of words. And you're not going to see it in the video, but you will see it in the final photographs that I used tons of different words to kind of fill that in. And I love the way it looks because I just love that stamp set. So that's a great way to use all these little words. It's an awesome stamp set. You should check it out. It's from Simple Stories DIY collection, I think. And you see me start to do it here. And I'm using VersaFine ink, just so you know, VersaFine black ink. And I think that my camera was full because this layout took me about 49 minutes. So you can see here how I filled in the spaces with the stars and the hearts and then all these little different sayings. So here is my first layout. I also outlined some on this page. I outlined the half circle and the striped paper. And you're going to see some more close-up photos. So thanks guys so much for watching, and remember, if you subscribe to the HIP Kit Club, use the code CraftingKate and you'll get a free pattern paper add-on. Thanks again, and I'll see you guys real soon. Bye!